Yeah, and really speaking our audience's language, right? That was another thing
Right.
too. I was
Right.
speaking my language, and our about page was about us. It wasn't about them.
And
And
that's usually what you see. It's
yeah,
yeah.
and I learned that from you. Yeah, it's always about the company, the culture, their achievements, funding, all that stuff. And it's like, who cares what you accomplished? Like, what's in it for me? Right.
Right.
And that was a mind shift. I call it selfless marketing. I'm just going to coin it right now.
Trademark it.
Trademark that, selfless marketing. No, because it really is. It's really considering your audience on a whole deeper level, which also means you have to change your processes to make it easier for them.
Right.
Like they're coming in wanting something. You have to put your wants to the side and meet what their wants are.
And
So
yeah, and even with an about page, I mean, you can talk about yourself. I mean, obviously they want to know what your experience is and what your track record is and that sort of thing and how you operate, but how does that relate to what they need?
right.
So you talk about it in a way it's like, and this benefits you because.
Mm, yeah.
So yeah.
The other thing I wanted to talk about, let me see here. Um, the deep customer insights that you found, because you did interview a few of our customers and former customers. And I'm curious to know like what you found specifically, just to kind of bring that to surface. And it also helps with, our audience who are listening or even watching this understand what are those things to look for.
Well, the number one thing I found was people valued the responsiveness of you and your team. That is something I saw complaints about in Better Business Bureau with other companies, and people complained about all over the place on the internet that, I hire this web development team and I can't reach them. And it could be a number of reasons. One is the company, the developers were based outside the US. So the time zone difference
Yeah.
was like, I'm trying to reach somebody, I have an emergency and they're asleep because they're on, it's 3 a.m.
Mm,
And so that was something that I made sure was first, up front and, right up front in your copy. And that, I mean, that was the number one thing by far. I kept
yeah.
hearing that over and over. And then that they liked you. I mean, there is a personality thing. If you're working with somebody on a long-term project like this, you have to be comfortable with them at least, if, and ideally you like them because you have to go back. There's so much back and forth and you have to
Mm,
have an understanding. And so there was that. And those were the main things, was just the responsiveness. And the one person who said that they had an emergency on a holiday, and
mm-hmm.
that you actually, when I talked to you about this, you said you were at a dinner, I think it was Easter or something, and you said, I have to take this call. And it was something that if it wasn't resolved, would have cost this company a tremendous amount of money, and so
Right.
that matters. That's where the value comes in.
Yeah. And that's one thing that I hear a lot of it, like from customer reviews, or even speaking to the customers directly.
Mm-hmm.
So just for you guys listening, I'm the founder and CEO at JRM. I meet with my customers, some on a monthly basis, some on a quarterly basis, right? So you would think I have a ton of customer insights, but a lot of times, I mean, I do have a lot of customer insights, but a lot of times I'm not asking that extra layer of questions, deeper questions, and then I'm not writing it down. And the thing that I'm not doing wasn't doing for sure was putting that on the website. So that was huge. I didn't know the right questions to ask either. So it was tremendously helpful to have Linda work with us and be able to help me by getting those deep insights, asking those right questions, to where we even worked on a value prop. I did not even have a value prop. They're like, what's your value prop? I'm like, wow, I can't even put a sentence together for this one. And if I did, it was garbage. So we would just trash it. And she proposed, based on the customer interviews and the insights that she got from the web, like she proposed 3 value props, and I chose one that was really solid and relevant to our audience and our services. And yeah, there's a lot of great stuff that we were able to uncover there. But that was one of the things that I remember was responsiveness to communication and also to getting stuff done. Because in marketing, you got to move fast. So that was one thing they really appreciated. And something we are very proud of is our responsiveness to communication and to getting tasks completed.
The other thing too is that your website originally was very much like you'd expect a SaaS website or a B2B website, which was kind of impersonal, didn't really have a personality.
Right.
And that's something I see lacking in a lot of B2B websites. It's like, well, we have to be all serious. And you read about this all the time on LinkedIn. It's still people to people. There's still a person that's coming to that site.
Right.
Not a robot. Well, maybe there's robots. I don't know. But hopefully it's mostly people. And so you talk in a way that relates to them in their language. This is what I find through the research. What words are they using? What phrases are they using? And make it simple. And I've talked about this before where, people call it dumbing down. That's a horrible phrase because that's not what it is. When you word things simply, whether it's an email, a website, or whatever, research has shown that even people with PhDs, highest intellect, still prefer and will read through more of a simple simple narrative versus a lot of complicated words. Because it's almost like you put speed bumps in the copy when you use a complex word when you could use something simple.
Right.
A fifth grade level, ideally, which people are like, what? It's not like, you're not reading Dr. Seuss. It's still fairly, involved.
Right. I think the whole goal is making sure that they can simply understand it without questioning it, or just skipping over because they don't understand it.
Right.
Because you want them to understand everything. It's all linear connected.
Because you had a lot of acronyms for the different.
I did. I had HTML, CSS, JS, PHP. It's all these coding languages, right? And, these marketers who are our customers are like, dude, we don't care. Like,
but they don't know what it is. That's why I think I even asked you, like, do people know what this is? And I think you said, well, developers would, right? But that's not your target audience.
I mean, marketers know too, but they don't know the depths of it, right? But yeah, I'm not over here trying. That's another reason I'm not, and a good point that you're making, I'm not here trying to attract developers. Right. I'm making an assumption marketers know, but a lot of times that's not the most helpful acronyms. So
I call it alphabet soup is what I ended up calling it on the site.
Yes, definitely. You guys check it out. Our website, jrmwebmarketing.com. I know it's going to mess up our website traffic analytics, but it's all good. I don't care about that. I really genuinely want you guys to go to the website, look at the copy on our website. Linda did a fantastic job with it. I'm very, very super excited about it, fired up about it, more than excited. And I really love the way it really talks. It takes them like on like a journey. It's like a storytelling, the way it's positioned, but it has a little of my personality in there. And I appreciated Linda even reaching out to me to like say, hey, what would you say here? What would you say here? These bullet points, elaborate more on the bullet points. I don't understand the bullet points. And I'm like, geez, there's so much things that I need to elaborate on, which was great because it challenged me and pushed me to spell it out in plain English. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of that, even as marketers, where we don't really think about our audience to that level of degree.